Inside your cPanel, there's a great feature that can protect you from viruses. If you scroll down to the section that says Advanced, there's something here called Virus Scanner. Even though it's under Advanced, that doesn't mean it's difficult to use. It just does advanced things. So if you click on Virus Scanner, I'll show you how to use it. You can actually scan sections, portions, or all of your web hosting account in these categories. By scanning the email, what the system is going to do is it's going to go through all of the emails on your domain. And if you have a lot of emails, this could take a while for each email account. And it's going to look for any files that are suspicious and that contain a possible virus. Now, you need to understand that even if you find viruses on your website or within your email, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have been compromised, but it does mean that there's potential for it. For example, if you find a virus in your email, usually it doesn't do anything unless you actually open that email, respond to it, or download something, and then infect your computer. So this is a good way to prevent that from ultimately happening. Just finding a potential file doesn't mean something bad has happened, but it's a great idea and an important idea to clean these things up. We can scan our email, we can scan the entire home directory, and that's basically the entire web hosting account. Or you could just scan the public space. That means just the website files. Remember, there's a difference between your home directory and then your website files. Your website files are stored inside the public HTML folder, and this would scan just that folder. You can also scan your FTP space, and the reason this is here is because a lot of times hackers and the bad people out there that try to get into your account will use FTP to try and plant files on your server. So it's a good idea to scan that space as well. What I'm going to do is just scan the home directory here and show you what it looks like when it happens. So we'll click Scan Now. And if you had a really big website, this would take a while to run. I'm running this on a fairly small website. In fact, it tells us there's about 7,000 files on this website. We're going to scan those. Believe it or not, that doesn't take very long. We're already at 32% of the way done. It tells me how many files we've scanned, and we can look at it in megabytes. There's 144 megabytes of files to scan. We've already scanned 90 of those. So this won't take very long. And when it's done, it's going to show us in this box how many infected files it will have found. So let's give it a couple more seconds. We're already at 90-some%. And we get a good report. No virus found, so nothing lands in the infected files. So we're good to go. I want to show you what happens and what it looks like when we do find potentially harmful files. So I'm going to go back over here. I'm switching to a different account where I know I have some files I can show you. So for demonstration purposes, I've got an account here where I know I have some files in the email that are potentially dangerous, and I want you to see what it looks like when it finds those. So this time I'm just scanning the email, not the website itself. I'll click Scan Now. And in this case, this is actually going to have to run for a while. You can see that we have 33,000 files in the email. Now, when it scans the emails, it's looking at every email account. It's looking also at emails that may have been thrown into the trash and deleted. It's looking at everything. And even though these files aren't dangerous, unless I actually go open them and respond to them or download whatever it wants me to download, even though they aren't dangerous now, it's a good idea to find them so we can just eliminate them. Just for the mere fact that they're taking up unnecessary space and we really don't need them. Plus, it could save you from potential harm. So we're going to let this run and it will show us a number of files. I happen to know because for the demonstration purposes, I prepared this. I happen to know it's going to find several infected files. Right now, it found one. And just while we're waiting, I'll tell you what this means. It tells me exactly where it found it. There's a folder in your website structure, actually outside of the public HTML. There's a folder called Mail. Now that's actually where all of your mail files are stored. So inside a folder called Mail, there's the folder that is the domain, and then the actual inbox. This is in a folder called Greg. That's the name of this email account. And then inside that folder, there's one called CUR, which stands for current emails. And then an email file has a long sort of encrypted looking number, and that's the name of this file. It's a message file. When you open it in your email client, of course it's legible, but this is the path to the actual file. And so far the virus scanner found one inside my regular email inbox. It's also going to find, and again, I've run this test, I already know what's going to happen here, just to save you some time. It's also going to find many, many other infected files that happen to be in the trash. Emails that came in that I knew that were junk or whatever. Without looking at them, I just could tell they were junk, and so I trashed them. But it's going to find those as well. And there's certainly no need to keep those. I could have emptied the trash, but in this case, I didn't. And in fact, it will find a bunch of files that need to be eliminated. So I'm not going to make you sit through all of this because, as you can see, we're only a third of the way through. So I'm going to pause the video and we're going to come back and see what it looks like as it gets closer. Okay, I've unpaused the video now because we're almost done with the scan. We're at about 90%. When we got to about 80%, you can see the system found several files that it would call infected that have potential problems. There they are in the trash. You can see the file that it's currently working on by looking at this path. And right now it's looking at an inbox called support where there's a trash can or trash directory, and it's looking through those files as well. And like I said, it did find some. If I scroll through here, you can see it found quite a few, most of them again in the trash. But it did find this one file that is in a regular inbox. So now that we're almost done, in fact, we just finished, it did find 80 infected files. And so watch what it allows me to do. I'm going to click OK. And it's going to take me to another screen where it has a list of all of these files and some options. I have 3 things that I can do to deal with these potential, or actually 4 things I should say, to deal with these potential files. I can either disinfect, which simply means move them out of the folder that they're in. You would only do this though in an actual email box. You wouldn't do this with the trash folder. That's probably not something you normally want to do. I could also quarantine them, which just means set them aside so you can't get to them. Maybe have somebody else look at them, like Cloudwire or your web designer. But in most cases, you're just going to want to destroy all of these. And in my case, I know that these are, at the very least, they're just junk mail. It's nothing that I need. Even the one that's in the regular inbox, I'm sure is something I don't need. It actually tells me the potential name of the virus that it found. So we know that we're dealing with something that's not good. You can see, you see the word Trojan here. This email contained a Trojan that somebody's trying to inject, of course, if I opened that email and did what it told me to do, like download something. So this is just a great feature for protecting your files on your website and in your email. So in fact, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to end up clicking destroy, which is the third option. I don't have to do this and go down through all 80. I can go down to the bottom and select all of these. So I'm actually going to get rid of all of these files that are using up space. And then once I do that, I click this button that says process cleanup, and it'll get rid of those 80 files very quickly. They're done. Cleanup's complete, and your web hosting account is safe, thanks to the virus scanner and cPanel inside your Cloudwire hosting account.